Okay, got a swarm of bees here that I picked up on February the 1st, 2017. They are working real hard now, but it was a very small swarm, about the size of a softball. So I inspected them one time a couple of weeks ago, and they were doing pretty good. Now I think they're doing great. Let's go ahead and inspect it and see if we can look at the queen. The queen is very small. She's not much bigger than a worker bee, but she does pretty good. See if we can do this without having to use any smoke of any kind. Take this little cloth off here for. Okay, we got a couple of hive beetles caught in this cloth, so we'll get rid of those. We don't have a whole lot of beetles. When I first picked this swarm up, I didn't have anything but a little nuke box, and I didn't have any wax to put in the frames, so I had to build my own frames and on my own wax boards. Finally got some boards to look at, but take a look at this frame. Okay, they're pulling wax out and have quite a bit of cap brood. The queen is doing pretty good on this. She is a black queen. Alright, get off of me. One hit me on the ear. Didn't sting. These are fairly nice bees to work with. See if we can locate the queen. Since she is so small, she's hard to locate. I didn't have the right kind of wax. They pull all this wax themselves. But they've got some good cap brood on the frames. They're small setup here. I lost this swarm one time due to a mishap on the neighbor's part. I think he sprayed them with something and they took off. I put out another swarm box here and they happened to come back, which was lucky. This one has some good cap brood. I hope you can see everything here. But the bees are working as hard as they can. I've got more bees in here now than I had when I first picked up the swarm. But they're doing good. And I don't see the queen yet. So let's look at the next frame. Maybe one of these girls won't sting me. But I had to build all of these frames and the box because I didn't have anything when I decided to try to pick up a swarm of bees. This queen is very hard to find because she's so small and she's black. But don't see her anywhere right at this present time. They are pulling out 6 frames now. See, maybe she's on this last frame. It's been many years since I had bees. I used to have about 125 hives, but I sold all of them. So I just decided to start again, just for my own personal use. Okay, she's a good layer. She's keeping all these frames full of brood as they make the wax. Okay, this is one sheet that I got from a beekeeper. Put in a whole sheet of wax. So they've started working on it. Kind of pushed out on one side, warped out, but they're doing pretty good on the frame. But the time that I lost these bees, look, there's a wasp got on the frame while it was out. Go ahead and put them back together. We didn't find the queen at that time. But I have about twice as many bees as I had when I first brought it home. But I did put me some little pieces of wax in that I acquired from a beekeeper. So they're working on actually 7 frames. At this point in time, I don't really have a big problem with hive beetles. I have one every once in a while. So we'll put this cloth back in. And I got another one on the bottom. So this works pretty good on this side. See if we can get this back in. Okay, I had this hive located about 300 feet west of here, and the neighbor next to me made a statement: if one of these bees stings one of those kids or one of those babies, there'll be hell to pay. So when I left the hive for a couple of hours and I come back, the bees were completely gone. No bees in the hive at all, except for about 300 dead bees on the bottom of the hive and on the ground. So they left. 2 days later, they came back to another box I had that I just put sugar water in. That's the way I caught these bees down on my lease property, was with sugar water. I didn't have any lemongrass oil, but I just put some sugar water inside the hive, and I done that for about 6-8 times, starting about January the 25th or 22nd to 25th, somewhere in that neighborhood. And all of a sudden they showed up, and they were just a little small group of bees. I didn't think they would survive, but I have taken care of them, have fed them and watched over them real close, and they are really increasing in population, even though I didn't think they would make it. I thought they would die in the process, but they made it so far. So I've had them for 2 months now, from the second time that they came into one of my boxes. The first time was February the 1st, and the reason why that I know same hive is because of the queen. She was a small black queen, and this one has a small black queen, just identical, so I know it's the same little swarm that came in. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll have some more updates on this hive later on. They've got 7 frames they're working on, and maybe in another month they'll be strong enough to add another brood box. Thank you again. I appreciate it.